Why did I was having trouble holding back.
What? You want to make fun of something?
No, why did you look extra beautiful today?
Oh, do I?
Extra delicious.
Thank you. I don't even feel extra delicious.
You should.
Thank you. Well, now I do.
We lots to talk about. Lots to talk about.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to Renae and I had a wonderful yesterday. And I think that our discussion in the past couple episodes really helped with that.
Yeah?
Don't you think? I mean, I think our therapy sessions here in front of thousands.
You're
helps.
helping us. Thank you for watching. Is it a little sick and twisted that we have to have our therapy sessions in front of people? Possibly.
No, we literally said we're not doing anything. We laid in bed. We slept in.
Well, that's because I woke up with like a killer migraine. I couldn't even open my eyes.
But we still slept in.
Yes, we did.
And then we went to go see a movie together.
Yes, we did.
Which was very nice. And a lot of times I'm at a movie with you or whatever, and my phone is just blowing up. And it was really cool that it worked out that...
Yesterday it wasn't.
No, it wasn't blowing up.
And it was a long movie. We were there for a long time.
Yes, and we enjoyed it. We held hands.
Yes.
And we had popcorn.
Yeah.
And we had lunch together.
Yes.
At the Panera, like...
Why is it so freaking expensive?
Oh my God.
Like,
dude,
why am I always shocked when they tell me how much we owe for the food?
I'm like, we could have gone to a steak dinner for this, Renae. Like,
it's
Panera?
expensive. I mean, I guess it's because it's like all organic, but it's like the smallest portions ever. And maybe that's what we should actually be eating, but still.
But we saw the movie Reagan, about Ronald Reagan. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was going to be good because the critics shit on it.
I didn't look at what the critics said. I
know that's how you do it. You look if it's like 96% critics, don't go to that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they shit on a movie, you better go.
Okay.
Because the critics are idiots.
Yeah.
And they have no. But again, and I got to look, and maybe Rick can. Critics shit on it. The people love it.
Well, what is the rated? There's one that does both, right? It'll tell you like how many stars the critics gave it, but then it tells you like popcorn, right, Rick? Is it Flickster or Rotten Tomatoes, or which one does that?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm looking it up. Is it just called Reagan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes will give you both. The popcorn, the one that's like by the popcorn rating by the popcorn symbol is like what
the
is
flicks or whatever. Moviegoers
think of that.
What are the ratings, sir?
Well, I got 19% by the critics.
I told you.
That's bad.
When the critics shit on something, go.
That's bad.
And it was great.
I also think it's because it's a political movie, right? It's like putting out a political movie at a political time. It's going to have like either one extreme or the other.
Well, we know where the critics lie, right?
But I want to know what was the popcorn rating, Rick?
98%.
Told you.
Whoa.
Told you. That's when the critics shit on something, go watch it.
That's such a huge difference. I did not expect that vast.
I will say that so for me,
yes,
it was the first time as a child that I remember these things happening. Like these memories in my head. So first of all, Reagan is the first president I remember.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Bush Sr. is the first president.
But I also, from what I understand, because I was not around before that period, that he was considered like the TV president. Because at this time in our world, TV had become a big thing. Mm-hmm. And they were able to film his talks. This was
the first time debates were Was Reagan the first president that debates were televised?
I don't know. That's a good question, but it
what
was
did
always.
Rick say?
Go ahead, Rick.
No, they Nixon and JFK.
That's right. JFK was first televised president.
But I remember and I'm sure Betty's similar to my age. I remember parents stopping things and going, "The president's coming on."
Yeah.
That was still the time of very little TV channels.
Yeah.
But
everyone was watching the same things.
Right. And it was a big deal to go, hey, the president's coming on. And for me, it was Reagan.
Yeah.
And I just remember very vividly Reagan's face and him standing in front of are sitting in front of the
I
TV.
thought Dennis Quaid did a really good job, and they like put prosthetics on him for his cheekbones, and I don't know what else.
He did
I thought he did a great job.
He did an amazing
as
job.
Reagan.
I enjoyed the movie. It brought back tons and tons of memories. I learned a lot about that period of time and what was going on back then, and it also made me feel like, what we're going through now is really nothing new.
Yeah.
It seems like it's the same bullshit. I'd bet, and I'm willing to bet, and I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that my parents were probably scared for their kids. With the Soviet Union and
The Cold
War and communism and everything that was going on and them looking at this going, oh my gosh, our world is really scary, because that's how I feel right now. I feel like, oh my gosh, our world is really scary,
Yeah.
But Dennis Quaid was amazing.
I mean, if I was being a Rotten Tomatoes critic, I would say that I liked the device they used to tell the story. So the story is told through an old former Russian spy. I thought that was a cool device to take us back and forth. I just thought the dialogue was a little too on the head. That's all I would say. That would be my only note, is that I thought the dialogue could have been a little better.
But they had a lot to cover. And I really do like the fact that in the movie, they touch on his childhood.
Yeah.
They then touch on his adolescence and teenage years. And then they touch on his movie career. And then they get into him running for governor very quickly. So they got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was cool to see the story start in his Hollywood days, like as him as the SAG president. I can't remember if it was SAG or what he was president of, but yeah, it was cool to see that.
I was not aware, and the people in our studio audience, which is 2 people, did you know that Ronald Reagan had another wife?
Oh yeah, that was the only weird part of the movie. Is there are child
Nancy Reagan
actors.
to me was just his wife.
There was an actress before her. He was married to an actress before her, and they had
kids.
children.
Yeah.
But the movie never. The children were not a big part of the movie. So
very quickly you see them, but you don't know
what happened to his previous children. Did they have more children? Like, it's just not a part of the
Rick,
story.
did you know that he had a previous?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know. You guys didn't know. No. All I remember is that Nancy Reagan had 1 boob.
What? What are you talking about? I didn't know that about her.
Yeah, she had 1 boob.
She had a mastectomy?
She had breast cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that about her.
She
I know what I know about her is the war on drugs. Like, that was her big crusade, and everyone always talks about Nancy Reagan was the face of the war on drugs.
And McGruff, remember McGruff, the crime dog, and the teachers would wear it. Did you have the crime dog in Detroit? Well, I mean, you guys were probably doing drugs.
You had crime.
You guys had drugs in your schools.
Yeah, we invented the crime dogs.
yeah. Did y'all have McGruff, the crime dog?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was part of the DARE program, right? And
So was the milk.
Got milk. And
What was Got Milk? I don't
for
know.
the dairy farmers? I don't know if it was Got Milk though. It might have been something.
How is Got Milk related to the drug campaign?
But they
just need
showed
2 separate campaigns. You lost me.
But they did show Nancy Reagan as a very strong woman
Yes.
and a very big supporter.
A bright light. Like
Yeah.
a bright light and a sweet lady.
I mean, I always laugh because, and by the way, theater sold out. It wasn't a big theater.
Yeah.
But it was sold out.
And on a weekday in the middle of the day, we were at a 1:00 showing.
But everybody was over 60. Everybody.
we might have been the youngest people in the theater.
Like Renae and I
That's
lived
true.
that. We lived that retired life, on a Monday, going to catch a movie with all the retirees at 1:00 in the
We
afternoon.
got the senior discount.
But I would highly recommend it. It was obviously it was made to be a movie, but there's a lot of historical facts in there.
You love history pieces.
I like movies about real people.
Yeah.
I really enjoy movies about real people, and Reagan to me is one of those guys that Reaganomics, and people always talk about the Reagan days, and
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's still true, but I do remember that was one time that the entire country, I think he might have the highest rating of a president ever.
Approval rating?
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that factoid, Rick? President with the highest approval rating.
But I also like the fact that Reagan, the Speaker of the House, was a Democrat, and they showed a real relationship, and he was very good at being friends with the Democrats,
With his
and
adversaries.
yes, and he was very good at kind of working in that middle world. I thought it was very interesting. Spoiler alert. At one point when he's the governor of California, everybody loves him. And this hippie dude camps out in his yard because he wants the story, right? And Reagan comes out and Nancy's like, what are you doing in my yard?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of similarities with Reagan and me and you.
What do you mean?
Remember, we were laughing because, so Nancy sees the dude in the yard first and she's like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Yeah, call the office and get an appointment, because if my husband sees you, it's not going to be a 5-minute conversation. It's going to be an hour-long conversation.
He's going to give you an hour, and I don't want him to give you an hour
don't have
because
an
he's
hour.
very busy.
Yeah.
So then Reagan's like, hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing here? He's like, could I have a minute? He's like, why don't you come in and have coffee? And Nancy's just like, oh, my gosh. But it was really cool that when he became president, this, San Francisco-ite, this Berkeley type looking dude, ended up becoming his writer.
Yeah.
And it was very clear that this guy helped guide Reagan.
Yes.
If we are getting a little political, I don't like to get political.
Yeah.
I just would like to see more of that.
More of what?
More of working together.
Oh, sure. I think the whole country would.
More being open to other people's opinions, more of a negotiation, more of a working
instead
together.
of two different teams.
Instead of, this party politics that we've become.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, I'm never going to say this because I know if I say that, it's a trigger word and I won't get elected. And,
Yeah.
So I found the movie definitely worth the money.
Rick, were you able to find out? I was going to say, I think the president with the highest approval rating would be Kennedy, right? Who was it?
So here's the thing. You got to go by time because there's highs and lows. So if you look at the highest at any point was 90% approval rating, George W. Bush, right after 9/11.
That was right after 9/11. Yes, I do remember that.
But
now
his lowest is 25%. So...
Oh, so he had a huge gap between people loving him or hating him.
Well, and Reagan did too, and they do show that in the movie that at one point people really didn't like Reagan.
Yeah.
But I do know that he was
probably when missiles were
he was
pointed at
very
us.
so on average, where was Reagan's rating?
Well, he goes from he goes 68 was his highest, and then 35 his lowest, at 83 to 01. There was the whole HIV thing too. Did they cover any of that in there?
Oh wow, I didn't think of that.
Briefly.
Right.
It's like a blip on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's like a people protesting.
They basically tell the story through a Russian spy, and I did like the message. The message was that the reason that the Soviet Union was taken down by Reagan is because he believed in God and that he was very charismatic.
Well, no, and that ultimately, when you put faith in the human spirit, that's the message that people get behind.
Yeah, and he was very charismatic and a very good speaker and was able to rally the world together.
Yeah.
And he was not a warmonger. He was not, he was very, and they make it clear through the movie, true or not, but they really play it as he was like, I want to fight wars with words.
Yeah.
I want to be the president that uses diplomacy versus strength and power.
Right.
Right. But definitely worth watching. Rick, are you thinking about watching it?
Absolutely not.
No? I would love.
I'm not into those kind of movies.
No.
What? What did he say?
Into those movies.
No, only because of this. Two reasons. One, when they span the whole life, like what I liked did you guys see Bohemian Rhapsody?
course.
Yes, I watched it multiple
Great movie.
times. I loved it.
It's a great movie because they focus on a period, like a one moment type thing leading up to something. When they span the life, there's so much that you miss and stuff. I'm just not. Same thing with I like Muhammad Ali because it was one moment.
Yeah, well, I don't agree, but I think they did a very good job of just giving you kind of, here's a few minutes on him as a child, here's a few minutes of, they kind of go through it pretty quick.
Yeah, they do
And,
for sure.
and they
For sure.
they really focus on his affairs with the Soviet Union and communism, and that's the thread. The thread through the movie is that he was very against communism.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was the Reagan family, I would be very proud of the film. I think it paid homage to a president.
But you liked Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was good, but again, that was one moment. Like we didn't have to learn about his childhood and all this stuff. It was just the making of the.
That
film.
movie was so heavy. That movie was hard.
I loved it. That movie was freaking awesome. I loved watching it. And I'll be honest with you, like I miss taking my wife to the movies.
Yeah.
That was something that, when we were single, or not single, but kidless,
Yeah.
Renae and I loved going to go eat dinner and watch a movie.
Pay, what was it? Then it was like $16 or 20
Oh my
bucks
God,
to see
dude.
a movie at the ArcLight in Hollywood, and it was like a big deal to go to the movie.
Yeah, so we'd go to the movies quite a bit, and then lately we really haven't had time, and I just think that Hollywood too is all they care about is the big blockbusters now, right? They're not willing to put out, or people aren't willing to watch movies about human beings, But from what I understand, this movie is making money.
Yeah.
I think the budget was $25 million, what I looked up, and it's already made $27 million. So it's already made a couple of $1 million. So it's not
It's not a flop.
it's not a flop or
It's
a
not a
loss.
loss.
Oh, Kevin Costner is dealing with some shit with Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is in trouble. But I will say about Horizon, because I did watch it because I love Kevin, it should have been a miniseries.
Yeah.
It should have been a miniseries. I mean, you go, okay, the Kevin Costner Horizon, I'm a Kevin Costner fan, and he's in the movie maybe 30 minutes out of 2 hours
Yeah.
or 3 hours or whatever. And you're like, dude, what the hell? I want more Kevin Costner. They
Yeah.
try to tell you like 10 different stories in this movie. So I think, I don't know, it wasn't that great. So, but I think if you do something good, I think Reagan's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Here I am recommending it. I hope people go, you know what, let's go watch that in the movies before it hits streaming.
Yeah.
Rick's obviously not.
I want to go see Beetlejuice. I know, that's what we're trying to decide. Do we see Reagan or do
Betty
we
say
see
no. Why? Did you watch
Beetlejuice?
it?
Beetlejuice was bad? Oh,
I
just
heard it
love
was.
Halloween.
I heard it was like a music video.
Wait, what did Rick say?
Rick said he saw it.
I just saw it.
Can I take Garrett to see it?
Yeah.
Garrett loves
Well, hold on.
Nightmare Before
I
Christmas.
want.
He loves
Rick's.
Halloween.
I want Rick's opinion on it. Was it a good movie?
I think they try to do too much. It's fun if you like the first one, but they try and do way too much with
Oh.
Michael Keaton, how was he?
it. Outstanding like he is in everything.
Yeah, that
I
dude's
was
just
hoping.
amazing.
I was
man.
hoping I could take Garrett to see. There, I had a plan. I was a mom with a plan. I was hoping I could take Garrett to see Beetlejuice, and he would love it so much that he would want to be Beetlejuice for Halloween. Because how cute would Garrett as
Dude,
Beetlejuice
Renee will
be
not
for
let
Halloween?
it go. Pushing Beetlejuice on our poor child, and he's gonna end up Beetlejuice because Renee does not
Well,
stop.
not if the movie's not any good. He's not going to be
Renee
into
does
it.
not stop until she gets her way.
That's not true. Hush.
Look at the caras. Look at their faces.
Hush.
Look at their faces. Look at
Hush.
their. And I like the way Tatiana tried to look away. Tatiana was like, well, don't make a face. Don't
They
make a
know
face.
Garrett
don't
would
make
make a
face.
really cute Beetlejuice too.
I'm not saying he wouldn't. I would just say, like, let him choose what he wants to be without forcing something on him. Let him.
Says the dad who's trying who's insisting he be Benny the Jet from The Sandlot.
No, that he wants to be Benny the Jet. That's what I keep telling. See that she hears different things. That's what I. Garrett wants to be Benny the Jet, so when I'm defending his decision, and Ray's like, Beetlejuice, he's gonna be Beetlejuice, and I can't wait for him to be Beetlejuice, and I'm like, no, he wants to be Benny the Jet. No, Beetlejuice, he's gonna be Beetlejuice. And I'm like, but he wants to be Benny the Jet from Sound. No, he's gonna be Beetlejuice. I'm already telling you, I'm gonna take him to the movie, and he's gonna love it, and he's gonna be Beetlejuice. And I'm like, God, stop! Give this guy a freaking break. But so that we don't chew on the same gum.
Yes.
We've learned.
Yes.
We've learned from our listeners, from the people watching. I do want to go back to. It is amazing the discussions we have on this podcast that actually help Renae and I.
Yeah.
I feel like it really helped us. You know, we did get into kind of a thick conversation, but ultimately coming back and revisiting it made us. And what I'm saying is that I think other couples should, number one,
Should have heated arguments and work through them.
yes, 100%, have real conversations,
Yeah.
right? And at least one needs to be able to admit when they're wrong. At least one.
Shut your mouth.
At least
I
one.
admit when I'm wrong too.
Somebody go through all the episodes, please, please. $1,000. You
I
find.
think someone actually in one of the comments counted how many episodes we've done. I forget how many it is. Maybe just some.
Okay,
Jeff might have sent me a
300
message.
episodes. If you find 10,
It's more than that.
10 out of the, that's not even 10%. 10 out of the 300 episodes where Renae admits that she's wrong, I'll give you $1,000. If you can find episodes where she says, "I love you, Steve. You look great, Steve.
I
Thank
tell
you,
you,
Steve."
I
I'll
love
give you
you
another $1,000 because that shit
privately.
ain't happening.
I tell you I love you
what?
privately when it counts.
Good luck finding it. When?
I
She
tell
said
you
what?
I love you privately when it counts.
On the podcast.
I don't have to do it in front
10
of
times.
people.
Exactly. Exactly. We're 5 years in and
In
we're
the
just
same season.
we're in the same season. In the same thank you, Betty. In the same season where Renae actually says, "Thank you, I love you, I'm sorry." Find those, please. Good luck.
Stop.
Good luck. What did we I got to stay home. I had off
Yeah.
for a weekend.
Yes. Are you antsy to get back?
Well, yes and no.
Because it's like this weird thing. You'll be like, gosh, I just want some time off and I don't want to have to get on a plane. I think it's the traveling. Like the not traveling does you good. But I think if you go too long without being on stage, I think you get antsy. You need the stage time. You just don't want the travel days.
I realized this weekend how fun my life is. Like my life is fun. My weekends are fun. I get to be on stage. I get to make people laugh.
Yes.
People are in a great mood.
Yeah.
Right? They want to hang out.
It's a vibe. It's an energy.
This was the first weekend I was off where I really did the civilian thing. You know, where I did what other normal people do.
Uh-huh.
And I love my friends. It was boring.
This is very different than the conversation we were having a few weeks ago.
No, I'm glad I stayed home, and I'm glad I got to be with my kids and hang out and whatever. But I'm just saying that it made me appreciate the fact that at this age in my life, I get to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really made me appreciate that. Like it made me
Good.
appreciate that. Man, I'm lucky. I get to go to a cool place,
Yeah.
perform, have fun, have laughs, have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and this weekend it was nice to be around my friends, and it was nice to participate. One of our friends had a birthday party that we RSVP'd to, that we went to, and I was very happy to be there. Really cool place. Other friends of mine were there, and it's just kind of, you know, and you got the kids, and the kids are playing, and you're right. You know, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, that was Saturday, and then one of the kids had a birthday party, so I got to take Garrett to the kid's birthday party. Again, like I'm sitting there at a place with other dads while the kids play.
Doing the normal parenting thing.
Yeah, doing the normal dad thing, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm happy to be here, but bored. Bored. Well, I'm so lucky I get to be on the road, and I get to like walk
See
on
different
stage.
places,
and,
try
you know,
different restaurants, have people applaud you. Yeah.
thousands of people.
Yes. Yes.
Talking shit. And then Sunday, I volunteered, and that was another thing. So Renae joined me without hesitation, and I really enjoyed having you out at the Randy Rogers golf tournament
Yeah.
that I was able to be a part of and to host and, use my talents to raise money.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man. Okay, first of all, I don't want to mess up his name. Why can't I think of his name? No. The main dude that I was like, oh, shit. He sings Dust on the Bottle.
Oh.
David Lee Murphy.
Yes. I was going to say, I'm going to mess up his name too. It's 3 names.
Yes, so David Lee Murphy
I was
was
about
there.
to say John Michael Montgomery. That's a completely different
Another
singer.
guy.
Yeah.
But he was there. I was like, oh, man. Like he said, we closed the show out with Dust on the Bottle,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Right. And I got to roast everybody and hang out and be a part of the auction. And Randy, who's Randy Rogers, who has been on this podcast, he's actually a really shy guy.
Yeah.
He's very, he's a
I don't know
very,
if shy is the right word I would use. He's an introvert.
he's an
by
introvert
nature.
and he's just kind of a quiet dude. And he doesn't really share a lot, but it was cool that he joined me on stage and you were there, with the banter and kind of talking shit and hanging out. This guy, and I'm going to blow your mind here for a minute. This guy, first of all, like William Beckman was there. And William is one of the most amazing, most talented kids you'll ever see on stage.
Yeah. He's like this small, he's a petite guy. He's not
Very unassuming.
He's not a big guy, but he opens his mouth and you're like, whoa, you got voice.
God, that boy can sing. I mean, he can sing,
Yeah.
right? But it's also a very deep voice. And he looks 17, right? That's accurate.
No, I wouldn't say he looks 17. But
21?
Yes, he definitely has a boyish face. He looks young.
And then he opens his mouth, and you're just like, holy crap. So please look him up. William Beckman, very talented guy. And I love him. And I'm not taking anything away from him. But this guy, Josh Weathers, holy shit.
Yeah.
You did not see him sing the Dolly Parton Whitney Houston song.
No, I did not. I had to duck out. You didn't tell me he sang that.
What's it called?
The Bodyguard? He sang the song?
And
I Will Always Love You, the song from The Bodyguard?
Will always love you.
Holy cow.
But he sang it
Uh-huh.
in a soprano.
Uh-huh.
Renae, blew my mind.
Oh, I wish someone had recorded it. I wonder if there's like video footage on YouTube.
This
of him singing it.
guy's, there is. And,
Yeah,
and that
okay.
was part of the things that helped him go viral.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I
I
was
was
just,
gonna say, don't pull it up. I'll watch it later.
yes, like a soprano, right? Soprano's
yeah.
the low, yeah.
The higher voice part.
Renae, I can't get over this guy. Let's see
Yeah.
what he's singing here.
No, that's a different one.
It's a different one, but Renae, I mean, I was just. Oh, here he is singing "Take This Job and Shove It," 18 Wheels.
Okay, so what happened when he sang? Finish telling me the story. I'll look it up later. That's something else.
That's him, though.
Yeah.
Rocking with the rhythm of the rain.
Yeah.
Slide on over.
He can sing anything. This
Yeah.
guy. I mean, this dude can sing anything, and it absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
So here, let me tell you what I'm getting at.
I know, because I'm like, this is annoying watching you look.
I know.
For,
I'm sorry to annoy you.
well, no, we
everybody.
talk about what did they say? We
Oh.
kept chewing on the same gum. Watching you like look for a video is what I feel like.
Okay.
The same thing.
Well, you could have been talking. You could have helped out.
Well, I want you
could
to
have filled the
finish the
gap.
story. What was the point of the story?
The point of the story is that I'm watching this dude, and I'm like, how is this guy not the biggest star in the world?
Yeah.
Because, and nothing against William Beckman, because William Beckman is top notch.
Uh-huh.
I mean, unbelievable. The fact that this guy's range, he could sing like William, but then he could sing like Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, we have a music studio. How do I help this guy?
Uh-huh.
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Right? He's an older guy. I'm like, what is going on?
He didn't. You say he didn't seem like an older guy. You say that like he's.
No, but he's He's not. I mean, of course, William
He
Beckman's.
doesn't get the senior breakfast at IHOP.
No, but William Beckman's in his late 20s, early 30s. He's on his way.
Yeah.
This guy is in his 40s.
Okay.
And you sit there and you look at this guy and you go, how is this guy not famous?
Yeah.
Right? How is he not famous?
Did you talk to him? Did you have a conversation with him?
I got to chat with him a little bit.
Yeah.
I was, Renae, to be honest with you, I was kind of intimidated. His talent was that big.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. So come to find out that our mutual friend, friend of ours, Jason Caffey, that's his cousin.
Yeah.
The funny part is that I don't know how many parties we've had where Caffey's like, oh, you got to check out my cousin.
And they've told me that too. They were like, we're going to see Jason's cousin. He's doing a show. Now we got to go see this guy live.
But
well,
never
you saw him, but I didn't get to.
Never once did Caffey grab me by the face and go, no. This isn't like some bullshit cousin of mine. This dude is stupid talented. He never did that to me.
Yeah.
So I call Caffey and I'm like, look, dude, I need to know what's up.
Yeah.
Why is this guy not famous?
Uh-huh.
Is he hard to work with? Is he a drunk? Is he a diva? What's the deal? Something
Yes.
is up.
Yes.
And he goes, none of those things. He goes, as a matter of fact, he's a very sweet human being. Mm-hmm. He spends his time and what money he makes from music building schools in India.
Wow.
He disappears, comes, makes money, whatever money he can make, and then he goes to India and has already built a school.
Wow.
And now he's going to like El Salvador to save a coffee farm. Like this guy's like a saint. And Jason said that part of the reason that he hasn't continued, 1,000% is number one, he wants to do his philanthropy. Did I say it right? Yeah. But he's also disgusted by the business. He's disgusted by executives and the way that this business works and the drunks and the infidelity and the gatekeepers and all the things that me and you ran away from.
Yeah.
Right. But I told Caffey, I said, that is exactly what Renae and I ran away from. Renae and I ran away from the dirty whatever. And we thought, okay, we'll go to Texas. Maybe we kick ourselves out of the business. Maybe we don't. Thank God for Rick, who's on the phone right now, right?
Yeah.
Who has continued to support our career and we have found each other.
Yeah.
Right. But I told Caffey, I said, man, I'd really like to reach out to this guy and kind of tell him our story, that we've done everything outside of the system.
Yeah.
We don't have to deal with slime balls. We don't have to deal with the gatekeepers. We're not dealing with the filth.
Yeah.
Right? We are not going to Diddy parties. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? but I told Caffey, I'm like, look, man, after what you told me, I'd love to have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
We have this music studio. I'd love to help him.
Yeah.
Thank God for us that we don't make our living with that music studio. So
Yeah.
we can't give it to him for free, but we can definitely help.
Yeah.
Because we have Drew over there who's the engineer. I can't not pay him. But,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can reach out to this guy and help him in some way understand that there is a way to do it. So then Caffey explained to me what he's been doing, because he has a real love for 90s country music.
Uh-huh.
So what he's been doing is he's been playing those songs that I just played for you, and they're starting to go viral.
Yeah.
So he goes, here in the last 6 months, he went from like 10,000 Instagram followers to like 100,000, because he is starting to put stuff
Content
out
out
there,
there,
right?
yeah.
And I'd love to kind of talk to him about it and go, look, man, this is what I do. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to do a podcast about his efforts in India, his efforts in El Salvador,
Yeah.
with this coffee farm that he's trying to save. But Renae, I was just blown away
Yeah.
by this guy's talent. I mean, just truly blown away. And not that anybody else, I love Randy and I love his voice and I love William Beckman and all those guys
Yeah.
that were out there. This is just somebody I had never seen. So I don't want the guys that were on stage to think that I do not think that they are talented or
Yeah.
amazing, because of course I love them all. And, Randy's voice is very special. I mean, Randy's got one of those voices that it's Randy, right? And it's awesome to hear. It's got a little.
You were just caught by surprise because you didn't know this guy.
That's right. Yeah, I was just caught by
Yeah.
surprise. I'm like, the fuck did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And then I call Cafe and he's like, dude, you asshole, I've been telling you about this guy since we met, I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but when you know how many people come like, hey, my cousin's in the business. And I go,
got a joke for you.
yeah, your cousin sucks, bro. But Rick, you gotta look him up, man. I mean, truly a special talent.
Yeah.
And then we ended up, I felt bad as we ended up there way longer than we should have been. But I am proud to say, and it was really cool because Renae has really gotten involved here in New Braunfels with CASA. And CASA does.
CASA, they stand for Court Appointed Special Advocates. So when a kid gets sort of stuck in the system the legal system between they're going through the court process of whether or not they're going to stay with their family or whether or not they're going to be removed from a home. This advocate is with them through the court process, shows up to the proceedings, and speaks on the child's behalf. They're not representing, they're not a representative of the family. They're
Or the
not a
state.
representative of the state legal system. They're purely there to give their opinion on what they think is the best interest for the child. And then outside of court time, they can go to the kid's basketball game or just support the child in other ways to let them know someone cares.
And also to get to know the kid so that they can truly understand.
Make
they
a
are.
recommendation for what they think is the best interest of the child.
So Renae's really been working hard, and I'm very proud of you. I mean, you've raised a lot of thousands of dollars for them, and you are now hosting their event.
Yes, their gala.
Their gala. So I'm very proud of you and excited. But, Randy's charity raises money for a local charity as well.
His foundation.
His
Every
foundation.
year they raise for local charities.
And this year they raise money for?
The Comal County Crisis Center. Is that right?
Yep, which then works with...
It was so
CASA.
sweet. Yeah, the ladies who were the head of that organization came over and they gave me a big old hug and they said something that is unique about New Braunfels is that these organizations truly work together. So like they will be introduced to an abused child first, typically. And then once it goes into the court system, then CASA kind of takes over the guidance and the care of that child. And so those ladies all know each other, and they're like, we feel like if you were helping that organization, you were helping us. You are helping the same children, right? Just at a different point in the process.
So we raised almost $300,000 that day, and I was just there's a few times in my career because a lot of times I don't feel successful, and I don't feel like, you made it or whatever,
Yeah.
But gosh, man, last year when I did Randy's deal, I said, I'm going to throw in 4 tickets to my show. Well, so last year they were doing a whole NFR Vegas package. So they said, okay, 4 tickets to Miranda Lambert and backstage, 4 tickets to Parker McCullum and backstage. And then I said, I will add, because I'm there at the same time, I will add 4 tickets and backstage to mine.
Right.
That ended up selling for, I forget last year, like 25,000, 30,000.
But it was basically a weekend of planned events.
Yeah, you had 4 tickets here, 4 tickets there, 4 tickets there. And the guy that bought it ended up backstage with us, had an absolute blast. We laughed, we had a good time. They were in our green room. And he came up to me, he was there again. He said, Steve, oh my gosh. He goes, I love music. I've seen music. He's like, but hanging out with you guys and that was the highlight of that package. He goes, so are you going to sell 4 tickets again? And I said, Cole, I go, man, I don't know, man. I go, last year it went for a lot of money and it's because Parker and Miranda Lambert and those guys are stars, man. And he goes, no. He goes, no matter what, Steve, I'll buy it. He said, please put it up there. And I said, man, and to be honest with you, Renae, like I don't want to feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
It'll hurt my ego if nobody buys it. You know what I mean? Like it really is an insecurity thing. So he goes, no, Steve, please. It will. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll pay at least $5,000.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm nervous about it. I'm like, oh, okay. And I talked to the auctioneer guys, and I said, hey, at the end of the auction, I'm gonna I'm going to do this thing, right? And I know Cole will buy it. Like, so insecure. So I go,
What
okay,
did the
guys.
auctioneer say?
No, he was like, yeah. He's like, Steve, we'll auction it right now. Where do we start? And I go, I don't know. Like, you know. And then on top of that, before that, something else that I thought had way more value than me sold for not that much. And I was like, oh, crap. Like,
You're getting nervous.
I'm so nervous and insecure, and I'm such a freaking basket case in my head. And I go, okay, you know, where do we start? You know, I said, come on, I go, somebody give me 1,000 or 500. And then, oh my God, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000, 11,000. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? We get all the way, there's 2 people left. We get all the way to 16,000. And the auctioneer looks at me and goes, Steve, will you do 2 packages at 16,000? And I go, yeah. Just like that. 8 tickets, 8 backstage passes,
Yeah.
$32,000 for my fucking.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm so, right. Even right now when I talk, I'm like,
Yeah.
holy
And then
shit.
you feel like, you know, how silly to get insecure. Like, who cares? Whatever money it makes, it's making it for an amazing cause, you know?
I
to
agree
really
with you, but I'm a wimp and
make
I'm
a
insecure.
difference in children's lives who really, really need it, who feel like no one cares.
And kudos to the people that paid that because I assure you, they're all friends with Randy. They're all friends with Wade. They're all friends with my
they
friends.
could have gotten tickets if they
Anyway.
wanted them. Yeah.
They could have made a phone call and said, I want to go backstage with Steve. Can you make a call for me?
Yeah.
And, you know, Wade would have called me or Randy would have called and said, hey, I've got 4 people want to go backstage, Steve. I would have been like, no problem.
Yeah.
But they still paid $16,000. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my, like $32,000 just on my tickets alone. And I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to say. But it made me, you know, it really made me feel great.
Yeah.
You know, and afterwards the girls came up to me in tears and they were like, Steve, thank you. Oh my God, that was amazing. Your tickets alone made us $32,000, and they're just hugging on me. And
Yeah.
And I go, guys, you fuck me. You gotta go meet my wife.
Oh.
I go, she's the one that is the star. I go, come on, follow me. And they followed me like little ducks, you know, to go meet you. But it was just, it was very humbling.
Yeah.
It was very, it made me feel like a success.
Yeah.
It made me feel, and then actually one of the packages was like a backyard party. And then somebody goes, can the funny guy come? I'll pay more if the funny guy comes.
No, at one point I'm having a conversation with Dawn, who's sitting next to me. And then out of the corner of my hair, I said, I think Steve just volunteered our house barn for the backyard party. I was like,
I want that party at my house. I'll hang out.
We might be hosting a big party at our house now.
But it, you know, it was just such a beautiful night, and I'm really glad you came out, and you looked absolutely beautiful, and
Thank
we got
you.
to hang out.
I was glad I
and
came too.
Some of
yeah.
our friends were there, which was nice. You know,
Yes.
some of our friends were participating in the golf tournament, and it was funny because our friends were like one little table, you know, and it was like, oh, we know them, you know.
Yeah.
But then there was all these other people, and talk about a cool thing. I mean, because David Lee Murphy played. It was William Beckman. Not to mention William Clark Green, who I'm a big fan of. Who else was there? Why can't I think of his name?
Josh Abbott played.
Josh Abbott played.
Yeah.
And then at one point it was William Beckman, Randy Rogers, David Lee Murphy, and Josh Weathers, who you should look up.
Yes, and Brady Black on the fiddle.
Brady Black and they're just playing, and it's just this amazing concert. But it was at River Crossing, and if you were a member at River Crossing, you got to come to the show for free.
Yeah, even if you didn't participate in
the golf tournament
event,
or bought a table or anything.
You could still come bring a
they
lawn
were
chair.
behind the rope. They put them behind the rope. And
You
then
had to bring your own chair, your own folding chair.
But that brought value too, because we ended up selling suite tickets for the Spurs. And then somebody from River Crossing ended up bidding on that.
Yeah. No, there were people in the lawn visiting and bidding and participating
on
in the
stuff,
auction. Yeah.
I did learn something from Randy.
What's that?
Everything includes Randy.
Oh.
Right? Randy's smart. Randy's like, sweet tickets to the Spurs with me. And I'm like, Randy just wants to be in a suite at the Spurs, you know. Beautiful golf trip to, I forget, it's like the #1 golf course in the world right now, including me. Like everything, private jet to this golf course, including me. So I'm like, dude, he's smart. Like, you know, hunting trip for 8 at the most beautiful ranch in the world, including me. I will join you. Like, dude, I'm like, dude, I need to do that. Like, I want people to buy shit for me to go. Like, that's so genius. So genius.
You don't want to go anywhere. You just want to be home.
But, you know, I'm so glad to be able to get involved with those guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope I bring value, but you know, we just did Wade's. Wade raised $800,000 that I was able to be a part of. Randy's raised over $300,000, which I was very honored and privileged to be a part of.
It's really awesome the way these people come out for these events and like support
it's so
them generously.
cool, man, and generous, and they're opening up their wallets, and we talked about it. The George Strait tickets went for $80,000.
Yeah.
$80,000, you know, of charitable donations, you know, and I mean, these are rich people, and people tend to shit on rich people. People tend to go, oh, these fucking 1%ers, and, you know, they're so rich, and fuck them. And they're not at these galas. They're not seeing the fact that they're buying $16,000 tickets to go see Steve Trevino so that money can then be donated to the children.
Yeah.
You know, $80,000 to go backstage and meet George Strait. They're not seeing that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money that's going to help and actually make a real difference.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a beautiful thing. And I'm just honored and privileged. And I love the fact that no matter what happens in my career, I do want to walk away and say, hey, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I tried to give back. I tried to use my talent.
You do
to
a
make
lot.
money,
You do
you
a
know.
lot. Yeah.
I'm like Ronald Reagan. You're like, oh shit, Steve's not going to give you a minute. He's going to give you an hour, you know, but it was awesome. So this episode, what did we learn? Go see Ronald Reagan, the movie.
Rick
Great
already said
episode.
he's not going.
I can't believe Rick's not going to go. He's a TV movie guy.
Yeah, but I don't go to the movies.
Would you watch it at home?
Sure.
Okay. Because of my recommendation, or just because?
Because of your recommendation. I have no interest like in watching movies in general anymore, but I will watch this one. Like, it's hard to sit and watch a movie.
It is hard. Like, I've learned if I want to rent a movie, I'll just buy it. Because you only have 48 hours to watch it anyway.
The chances of us finishing it.
Getting through the whole
Yeah.
movie,
Yep.
you know, I put
Or
on.
you'll get through it, but then I won't, and then because you watch the whole thing, I can't go back and
So
watch
it's like-
it. Like,
We rented 4 times to get through one movie. 'Cause I rented Maverick the other day with Mel Gibson. It's a great movie, and literally I had to rent it again, and I was like, oh fuck, like, but have you ever had a situation, Rick, where somebody recommends something and you're like, ugh, I'll just watch it because they recommended it, and then went, holy shit, I'm glad I did that.
100%. That's basically all. Because I am so limited on time, someone else has to tell me it's good before I watch it.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. I mean,
that's me, I think.
I have to hear it 4 or 5 different times. I need.
Do you watch movies on planes?
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite place to watch a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably watch a ton
You
of movies.
most no, because he mostly sleeps.
But when I can't sleep, I'll watch a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the damn plane so much that I'm like, seen it. I'm like, there's no movies for me to watch because I've seen them all. But it really was a good movie, and it was a really great weekend. And this podcast has definitely helped me and you out. And
Yeah.
we really had. I want everybody to know that Renae and I had a really great day yesterday and a really great weekend, and we're definitely being more patient.
I
with
love
each
that you
other.
had a normal weekend and you decided normal weekends are not for you. That's the takeaway for me. I love that.
But someday, you know, I just need another focus. You know, the problem is that I don't have a routine yet. Like if I hope there's a time where I can get off the road for
You
a
mean,
long
oh,
period
you're
of
talking
time.
about retired Steve. Like, how is retired Steve
I'm not
gonna
gonna retire.
return to normal human life?
I'm not going to retire. I'll never retire.
Yeah.
Retiring is what people do that don't like their job. I love my job.
Yeah.
I love being a comedian. I don't know how Brad Garrett is, but Brad Garrett loves walking on stage and being a comedian. Don Rickles did it into his 90s. You
Yeah.
know, it's just part of my soul and my life. But we do have to give up for our sponsors. Aztec Chevrolet has been absolutely wonderful to us. Soon to be Coastal Bend Auto Group, because there's 5 of them now. We have we have all the things you need for a new vehicle. I am also selling my 2015 Chevy Silverado Z71 LT. It's in perfect condition. Perfect.
Minus the time he told a joke about me wrecking his truck.
Well, we fixed it after she wrecked that truck. That is the truck she wrecked. That is the truck she wrecked. So if you are interested, slide in.
Truck that the actual bit
Yes.
is about is for sale. I never thought you would sell it.
Well, I have plans for that money. Slide into my DMs if you want Steve Trevino's Chevy Silverado. It does have a ranch hand bullnose bumper in the front and a
Can we
ranch
put a
hand
Captain
bumper
Evil
in the
sticker
back.
on the bumper sticker?
Yes, we'll put
the
a
bumper.
Captain Evil on the bumper. And then also Old Salt Coffee, the most delicious coffee that you can brew at home. Trevino 10. Pick Cherries. We're doing great. We got the patent. So it is patented.
Yes.
So you are going to see Pick Cherries technology everywhere. So get on it. Pick Cherries. Check it out. And our friends at Rao. I know that we're out of some sizes, but we've just ordered and we're about to make an announcement.
Restock.
That we're restocked and ready to go. So don't give up on us. With that being said, Betty, any questions? Tatiana, any questions? Rick, any questions?
Yeah, I got one really important one.
Oh,
Who do
shit.
I have to know to get some Spanish Oak Rebecca Creek?
I have some for
Oh.
you. And we didn't talk about Rebecca Creek. You're going to get me in trouble. I stole a bunch.
No, you didn't steal them. You purchased them.
No, I stole them. But I stole them in a way that was like passive aggressive, where I looked at the staff and was like,
What is that? Something's vibrating very hard.
is somebody's phone over there? Oh, the timer.
Oh, how funny! didn't
I
realize it
pretty much looked at Ashley at Rebecca Creek,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, yeah, I'm taking these. And she was like, okay. But I will let you in on a little secret too. I do have a bottle for you, Rick, and it is absolutely, I've let you taste it. It is amazing. There is 2 barrels left. And we are going to do a 1 through however many we can make with those 2 barrels.
Uh-huh.
Limited edition, your Christmas gift for your father, our husband. Because I'm telling you right now, Rick, 2 months ago, if you went to find it online, $60.
Uh-huh.
Right now, people are selling it for $5.99.
What?
Yep.
Okay,
Look it
well,
up.
I
Look it
hid
up.
the bottles because I was afraid to just leave them at the regular bar, and now I'm not quite sure if I remember where I hid them. So I gotta find them.
Don't you dare.
We do have bottles, but I just hid them, and I don't remember where I hid them. It'll come back to me.
Dude, you know, and it's so funny because it was a happy accident for them. They needed to move. They needed to move this whiskey from one barrel to another. They were having barrel issues, and they ended up. They go, hey, all we have are these Spanish oak barrels, and
Because they had to go buy more barrels. Get their
yeah,
hands on
well, they
more
needed
barrels?
They needed barrels like now.
Uh-huh.
And they said, well, we don't have the oak barrels that you're looking for. We have the Spanish oak, I forget what they were looking for. We have the Spanish oak, and they go, well, screw it, give us those. And then this happy accident happened. So, holy crap. Even the regular bottle is $73.99 that you can find it, but check it out. Whiskey Cravers has it for $139. Cask Cartel has it for $269.
Wow.
It is. I mean, it's blowing up. And then as soon as the $5.99 right here, it's already, for those of you out there, it's already going up. I mean, this is one of those batches and bottles that it's going to be $1,000 bottle in your collection once you get it. I mean, it's insane.
So if you can find it,
Yep.
you got to snag it.
Zeke's Liquor has 4 left at $58. And then everybody else is in the 200s. I mean, it's crazy.
So the small mom and pop liquor stores, if they even carry it, huh?
Yep. Here's one for $139. I mean, it's crazy, but it is 5-star reviews all the way across on every platform for the Spanish Oak. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's awesome. So
I haven't even tasted it. Now I'm like, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but now I'm like, well, I want to taste it. What's so crazy about this whiskey?
The only thing I have to warn you about, because it is absolutely delicious, is the fact that it is, well, we have to write it in there, but it averages about 124 proof.
Oh, dang.
It's fire.
So you don't need much.
Well, I was halfway through a bottle one night and I was like, man, why am I so fucked up? I can drink whiskey. Like, it's only half a bottle. And then I looked at the proof and I was like, ew. That's why I've been drinking double, if not triple. Right? Because a regular bottle of Crown is like an 80, maybe 80 proof.
I think it's 80 proof.
You know, right. So you're looking at 124 proof.
Yeah.
Big difference. So, yes, Rick, we will hook you up. We'll see you guys next time. Go support my friends at Rebecca Creek.